Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
Grif.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
Yay.
He likes the fact he's pointing the right direction.
Yeah.
I've been placed now, so I can point. To
Good job,
everybody.
buddy. Good job.
If you can see it from
You
my
guys are gonna
perspective,
get weird about this.
don't talk to me. Don't talk to me like
Right?
that.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
come on.
Oh, okay. This is not the Brady Bunch.
When there's not enough people here.
What games has everybody been playing this week? I'm just gonna ignore you.
I'll start.
Okay.
This week. Rage 2. I started Rage 2 on Sunday of last week, and have been playing it all week, with the exception of Friday and Saturday where we played some more Sea of Thieves. But I'm really enjoying Rage 2. If you're a fan of, and this is going to sound weird until you hear the explanation probably, but if you're a fan of Doom, play Rage 2. The gameplay, the way that everything feels in the game is very similar to Doom, like the gunplay itself. If you're a fan of any type of first-person shooter, this game feels really, really, really good. It feels honed. What I really like is what they do with the guns, where the guns have a different feel based on, they have a different element to them based on how you're holding the gun. So if you're shooting from the hip, we'll say, and you're just trying to fire, let's say the pistol, then it is an automatic pistol. But if you're holding it and pull the L trigger to zoom in, then it becomes single shot. So it changes how the gun reacts. And then for like the shotgun, it's a regular shotgun if you're just trying to go in and fire and do that type of stuff. But then if you try to zoom in, then it becomes a slug that'll end up knocking them way back.
So it's like an alt-fire.
Yeah, so the alt fire is built into that zoom function, which makes it so fluid and so much fun to play. And the shotgun's probably my favorite since Halo. It is probably my favorite shotgun since
shotgun. So
and because it has that swap in between, it feels so good. Plotline wise, I'm really enjoying that part of it too. It is your typical adventure style, hey, you've got the big bad eventually that you got to get to type thing, but it's okay. I mean, you're in an apocalyptic wasteland world, and it's fun. I mean, it's fun, and you feel very powerful. They've got some very unique characters that are in there. Some of them have made their way from the first Rage game over, and it's just, I think it's really well built. I'm interested to see how it finishes out. We'll find that out this week. But I'm interested to see how it finishes out. And it's nice and colorful. The overdrive function that they have on it, which allows you to be able to shoot more and things like that, is cool. They've got abilities that you can add. You can upgrade the guns as well. So all that stuff is fun. Driving in it's not so bad. Unlike Mass Effect, which Griffin and I were talking about the other day.
yeah, we'll be talking about it in a minute here.
Unlike that, it's fun to drive, and you can upgrade your car as well to where it shoots different weapons and does different things too. So there's and it rewards you for basically going out and finding materials to loot and upgrading all your stuff if you want to. There's other ways to get it too, but it does, at least it's a way of rewarding it to where if you want to stay out of some battles, then you can do that too. So which I think is kind of nice. From a gaming standpoint. Also, like I said, we played Sea of Thieves. We are further along. We are on the very last mission, which we will do this Friday, and I'm excited about it because we are going to go into the Shores of Gold this coming Friday, which is the very last mission that's on there. I am really, really happy and satisfied with what they've done with the game. I am dissatisfied with, I don't know what they're going to do next. That is what I want to know.
Those are secrets. If we tell you now, it's not as exciting.
Yeah, how long do we have until, you either give us more plot line, which would be awesome, or, our next expansion. When is that going to be? Because if you think about it, about every 2 to 3 months we've got that information. So
I bet they'll show it at E3. I bet Microsoft will hold it and be like, "Oh, hey, for our Sea of Thieves fans,
they did
here
say
you go."
that this year Microsoft's having the most first-party content that they've ever shown off at E3. So
yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling Sea of Thieves at Microsoft's press.
I think they're going to show it. The other thing is too, I don't know if you all noticed.
I feel them coming.
Hopefully, if they honed them, because they did make them available for a little bit with the Insider program, but I'm not going to give the details because I can't. but they did give them for a little bit. But they were right; they needed to be scrapped and figure out a way, because it didn't feel like your pet. It just didn't. It didn't feel like it was yours. And so they need to figure that out. I am interested to see, though, if you notice in the front menu when it first pulls up and asks if you want to go to the arena or if you want to go adventure mode, there's also one little thing up in the top right and it says coming soon. I think that's their microtransaction section. I think they're finally putting the microtransactions in the game a year later. What they sell is 3 months original.
Yeah, they were like, it's going to be out in 3 months, and then they're like, you know what, we have to scrap that because the game needs more stuff for free.
Right.
Sell Baka a monkey, damn it.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but if they're going to put that up there, I think it'll work out good. There is one of the things I was disappointed in, and I hope I'll buy it in a microtransaction if I have to, because I really like the outfit. But one of the tales that you have to do, part of it is you have to dress as a particular style of pirate. But they take the clothes away from you when the thing is done. And I was so mad about it. I'm like, you couldn't just leave me this way? Like, I just want to be able to change into that. But the answer is no. So I'm hoping that that's something that we can go back to later and wear. Because we were all, like, all of us were mad that we're playing it too. Because we're all like, I really liked that. It was really a cool looking thing. And so we'll have to see. But I'm excited so far to see what Friday has in store to go into the shores. The different puzzles and everything, they continue to get harder. Trying to figure out where to go for certain places was a little bit more difficult, but once you got to them, it was fun. It was entertaining. So we'll see how it works. So next Sunday when we all record, everybody will figure out what that is. But we'll be recording next week earlier so we can watch the Microsoft stuff.
I was actually
afterwards.
just looking to see if that was next week because I couldn't remember which week it was.
The 9th,
Okay.
yes.
Well,
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have kind of an idea on that one. But yeah, I'm really both games I'm really, really happy with. I just got to figure out what I'm playing after Rage 2. I did play a little bit of Dauntless 2. Piffers asked me if I'd play a little, and
On console, right?
I played on console. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not going Epic Store.
It is
no.
only Epic Store. I looked up earlier. It is only Epic Store, unfortunately. I still like the people who made it, but I'm not a fan of who they made it with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing: is it felt I do like the fact too they're doing similar to what Fortnite did, which is because you're playing with Epic and you're playing with your Epic account. In the top left-hand corner, it tells you what everybody's playing on. So it'll either have like a little square for PC, or it'll have the Xbox symbol, or it'll have the PS4 next to it, so you know what other people are playing on. They're playing with you, because it's completely cross-platform. And that part's neat. I liked the gameplay for it. I enjoyed hunting the monsters. I thought they were fun. Not something I would have normally probably picked up to play with friends type deal, but it's just because of the way it's built. I would prefer to go through something like that single player, just because I feel like that's more how I like to play anyway. But in this case, I really enjoyed it, and it was we didn't talk to the other two people that were in the party because they weren't part of our party. They were just people that part of the matchmaking, right, to go in and do it. I wish we had a full crew of 4, because I'm a person that grabs as many materials as you possibly can when you go out and do stuff like that, because I know you're going to need those materials later. There's a reason they have them in the game. And, of course, Piff's just running around everywhere just trying to find the monster to go hunt. And I'm like, Piff, grab materials. If you see the mushrooms, grab them. If you see the little wisps, grab them. Do all the stuff that you got to do. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun, and I'm gonna go back and visit to it. I just got to find a crew to run with on that one. So, and since it's cross-platform, if you all wanted to get enjoyed that. Oh wait, you're not gonna be doing Epic Store.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to, I'd download it on Xbox and play it like that. But I just can't bring myself. Like I like the company, and I like what they've made with Dauntless, because I played it before they became a part of Epic, and it was really good in beta. But getting in bed with Epic, I can't. I'm not gonna do it. So maybe on the Xbox.
Yeah, let me know, because I'm willing to play. Need people to play with. Next, somebody.
Next.
Oh, okay. I was waiting until he was done. I of course have filled more of my time playing Total War.
A lot of his time.
Yep, it is ridiculously fun.
Do you have time? I mean, just checking.
What little time he does have.
Yeah, so what little time I do have, I kind of put into more Total War. I'll probably play more afterwards. My main campaign that I was running, one of my favorite characters from Dynasty Warriors, it is one of the main generals for my main army because I'm playing Sesao, and Dun is in there, and he is a super badass. And my game has crashed twice, by the way. It just instantly closed with nothing. But I ended my turn, and my second term started up, and it had like a glossed over white thing because it was frozen, and Dun died of old age. And it's like, pick your new general, and I was like, oh no. And then the game crashed, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to load up this other campaign that I'm playing so that I don't have to deal with him dying. I'm just going to play someone else for now. But it is definitely filling that strategic itch, because every time I play battles, it's always I'm outnumbered. And as long as you play right and you play smart, you can just smash the AI. Because they like to try to just zerg the shit out of you. But no, it doesn't work if you're smart, because I usually just send my horsemen way out, send my spearmen up front and hold, and then they'll just come around the side, kill their archers, and then charge into the back line, and they usually shatter after a while. But yeah, I've been playing it. I really enjoy it still, and I look forward to putting in many more hours. And I've played Overwatch this week for the loot boxes that I'm not opening, and me and Baka played a new game last night that was free this weekend.
Which was?
Death Garden Blood Harvest, I think it was called.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's an isometrical. Baka's better at it than me. It's one of those. He started off better than me. We evened out because I was absolute doo-doo when we first started. Baka escaped in the first game. It was,
I lived.
Yeah. He played really well. Like this motherfucker right here, he hid the bush while the guy. I'll let you tell the story.
But
anyway, the first game where he knocked you down and you got crawled into the bush and the motherfucker just ran away from you after not fighting.
Yeah, he couldn't find me. But I was hiding in the bush, and then one of the other players, who's a healer, came running by, shot a healing arrow at me, and I got back up.
And then he escaped because the motherfucker took off because he couldn't find him in the bush.
Gave up. Baka hides too good.
So it's a 1v5 style game, and it's a parkour style where the hunter has guns and is like a modern shooter and whatnot, but they play in first person mode. And then the scavengers are super fast, quick, agile, can climb over walls, hide in bushes, super fast and whatnot. They also have a special ability on their second mouse wheel, and you can. Mine was create a decoy. Baka's was healing, so he could shoot you while you were getting hit, and he would heal you or pick you back up or something like that. And mine would create a distraction.
You like it's not like a stream that comes out like Mercy or something. It's
No,
like a
No,
shot.
it's like rolling.
Yeah,
like
it's
bullets.
an arrow. Yeah, it's an arrow. He shoots it, and if it hits you, you get healed and whatnot. And your job as the scavengers is to pick up as much blood and turn it into one of the 3 pillars. And once you get 125 blood, then the doors open and you can escape. Now you got to avoid the shit out of the hunter the whole time, and he has a bunch of different tools. I played him a couple of times. I definitely see why people have trouble with him because it is so hard to hit these slippery little bastards moving at 1,000,000 miles per hour, just running around you, sliding, climbing up walls.
Have crazy leaping abilities, though.
Yeah, but even so, you'll leap over them, and then they'll just turn around and dart the other way, and they're like mice trying to catch. My first game, everybody escaped because I was super bad. Second game, I killed everybody but one person, which was much better. But it was kind of fun. I liked it. It was a different style of isometric gameplay. Very, very fast-paced, very aggressive kind of gameplay where it comes into the scavengers just being able to outplay the other guy, because I was running up walls, jumping down, sliding around. This dude was chasing me for like 10 minutes and he could not catch me. I had no health, and I was just basically I had the super zoomies up walls, over walls, through tunnels, smoke screen, try to. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But that's what I put my time into this week. Overwatch, Total War, and a little bit of that last night.
I've been playing the original Mass Effect again. It's been a long time since I played the first one. I went into it going, I'm gonna romance Caden this time. They make it very difficult in the first Mass Effect to romance anybody. Let me tell you, it's like an uphill friggin' fight. And Caden, they made him like super white bread in the first game. Like his character, I feel like gets better as the series goes, but he's very like by the book in the first game and everything. But the driving is driving me insane. It's,
oh, look at you.
I'm not sure if it was that the person who created the terrain and the person who created the car hated each other, or if they hated anybody that was going to play the game in the future, because those two things suck so bad, and you have to put them together in order to do things.
What are you playing on? Like,
I'm playing
are you playing on PC?
I'm playing it on PC. Which means I'm playing with mouse and keyboard because there's a way to do controller support, but
it's not inherent in the game.
It's convoluted as hell.
Yeah, you gotta
go
jump through a lot of hoops to make that happen. So I was like, well, I'll just screw it. Don't worry about it. We'll just do it with the mouse and keyboard, which is what I did the first time too. So, but the car bounces like crazy.
Yes, it does.
And the terrain is always like, it'll be like, we need you to go over these mountain ranges to get to where you've got to go. Well, okay, the car climbs like a Skyrim pony, which is kind of nice. Except for it's a Skyrim pony who doesn't really understand how gravity works exactly. So it's like, I'm climbing this mountain and my wheels are stuck to it like little spider legs. And then you hit a ledge or something and it's like bounce, 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 bounce. No gravity. Now I'm across the map because the car won't stop. I'm like, terrain people, you made it this way because you knew how the mechanics for the car was going to work, and you hate us. That's it. You hate the player, or you hate the guy who made the car, and you wanted them to suffer. I don't know. I don't know who hated who here, but there was some hate in this game. That's all I'm saying.
Why you gotta hate?
Yes. The best way I could describe that vehicle is if you took the Halo 1 Warthog and merged it with a Skyrim pony, you would have it.
A very
like an
confused
indestructible
Skyrim pony.
An indestructible.
It's not indestructible.
Bouncy.
It's not indestructible.
Super.
It has an amount of health on it. And I know this because
that's only if you get hit by stuff.
Okay, here's what happened, because there are threshers in this game, and you have to fight them in a couple of the side missions and whatnot. And those are for those of you that've never encountered a thresher in any game, what they are is like worms that are in the ground, and they come up and they try to get you, and then they go back down and come back up later, and things like that. And so I'm like trying to fight this one, and the first time I did it, no problem, but I died right after that, and I had not hit, like I didn't quick save. Stupid me. That's where I learned my lesson. Because I had to fight this thing again, and I'm driving around where I know it's, it's at, because it's already popped up once, and it popped up behind me, so I was like, okay, well, it'll probably pop up next to me. It pops up right under me, flips the car over, and then destroys it immediately. I'm like, there is not even any recourse to that, because it flipped the stupid gravityless car over. Ugh. I hate driving in that game. I hate it so much. The game itself is enjoyable, but I don't know why my camera just turned off. Huh. Hey, look, guys, there's my Spartan from Halo 3. Let me see if I can fix this.
That sticky grenade is from me.
It was. I hate you.
that was my accuracy back in the day. Headshots? Psh, grenade headshots? Oh, yeah.
We're very obviously having some issues with ICQ because everybody looks like potatoes right now, except for Baka. Baka hasn't really had as many problems as you two.
Don't move, Baka.
Seeing Baka looks fine for me.
Well, now he's kind of blurry.
But
he's
moving, you two
are.
So yeah, I'm sorry to everybody watching this that there's potato quality that keeps happening. It's
sorry
ICQ.
For all the potatoes.
Yeah, it's something to
do
do
with
with
ICQ. Go make some mashed potatoes with them.
That's what I've been doing. What about you, Baka?
Overwatch. I still need to get some loot boxes. The Death Garden with chicken and worked on Grand Theft Auto more. And, other than that, I've just been fixing toys or putting. I did a Zoe bottle again.
Yay, it was so cute.
Yeah,
It was a
the bear
bear.
one.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. It's in Discord if you wanted to see it, if you haven't seen it yet. So.
Oh, and actually, yesterday I went with newbie to a place called Texas Toy Soldier, and they sell all sorts of like miniatures and games and
Tiny things.
They're like one of the few places that have bases still for Games Workshop, because they're being weird about that.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of other neat stuff there too. So.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Black went shopping yesterday, which means he probably spent a small fortune.
No.
Oh wow, no.
He says no.
$16.
He says,
Okay,
did you say
well,
60
it's a
bucks?
16. It's a very small
okay.
fortune.
Hey, 44 more dollars and you could buy Total War.
For a couple of bases and things like that. I mean, it's
Baka's our creative artist here
Yeah.
at Infinite Respawn.
large bases for the dragons to sit on.
He's moving too much.
Yep, he moved too much and he broke the signal, and everybody froze for a second.
We're having some technical issues. Please excuse us for one moment. Beep.
There he is.
He's
That
back.
was weird.
Don't move too much,
That was
Baka.
weird.
Too many pixels into your computer causes it to crash.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you two are still
large bases for the dragons to sit on. Because I've had a hard time finding them.
Well, then look forward to seeing some pretty models from Baka on bases soon. You guys want to talk about some news before ICQ completely dies?
Be a while on those.
Nah, it'll be soon.
Yep.
Well, once What Classic WoW comes out, he's going to be leveling and painting and leveling and painting and just doing all sorts of stuff. Classic WoW, I cannot wait, by the way, folks. Yes, there's very little news this week. Next week is...
Screw that. I'll be practicing with painting while I'm using my painter blade.
Oh,
There you go.
no.
Natural evolution of the gamer. But yes,
with
there's
the
not
news-
much news.
Multitasking.
Yeah, there's not much news at all. One of the things, though, is we were talking about earlier with Dauntless, it is cross-platform. One of the things we never thought was ever going to happen ever is happening with the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare that we talked about last time on the show. It seems as though we're going to have not only cross-play support, but there's not going to be a season pass either.
I feel
which
like we
is
talked
very
about that last week, didn't we?
No, it was not announced until this
we
week.
Did. Huh.
We were making fun of the fact that their name is super original.
Yeah, we didn't know
that
any
part.
information
Okay,
because they didn't
cool.
reveal it yet.
Yep.
Maybe
So
I
they
just
just
talked
did it.
about it at some point this week.
We
and
talked about it during the week.
We did.
For sure.
Look, I've been sick
Yeah.
all week, okay? Everything's running together. I just...
Yeah,
There you go.
Grif is sickly this year.
She had to do a lot of listening this week because she couldn't talk.
Yeah, she lost her voice twice this year so far.
Yeah.
Going for a third.
Let's go for a hat trick, Rip.
Anyway, let's talk about Call of Duty not having a season pass, because what, yo? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
What?
it's very, very strange. They did a trailer too. I recommend anybody to watch the trailer. It's making me hopeful for first time in a long time for a Call of Duty game.
I've seen that a lot. Isn't that weird? Everybody's like, really? Maybe we can reconsider.
But I think it's because of who it is. I mean,
To
like
be
with
fair,
you-
people said the same thing about Black Ops 4. They're like, oh my god, finally they're just committing to creating a multiplayer game. We're so happy. And then they just took a giant doo-doo. Don't get hyped.
Manage the expectations, yes.
Yes.
Because, well, I will say this about the lack of a season pass, is it does make me concerned about how they will act, or how they will monetize the rest of it. Because there's going
No, I
to
will
be
agree
a
with that.
monetization model somewhere. And if they are not making an extra $50 right out of the gate on a season pass, they're going to make that somewhere. Or try to.
I would
Maybe.
agree with that.
Maybe.
I would agree with that.
There's also not a zombies mode in this one, which may upset some Call of Duty people because it's become a staple in the
That's-
series, but They
Yeah,
want
but
to
that's always been
create,
kind of
like,
a
more-
Treyarch thing too, though. That's never really been an Infinity Ward thing. They did it one time, I think, in that last garbage game that they created.
But I feel like
but
they
that
did it
was
because they felt pressured, because it is something that a lot of the Call of Duty fans really like and will
Because
harp
wasn't
on.
that the one with the big flying fucking dragon skeleton thing? Wasn't that the
I
one?
don't even remember.
I think so. And it's just that's not
But
their
this one's
thing.
supposed to be more realistic. So
Yeah, like-
no zombies.
Yeah. No zombies, no season pass. I'm sure there'll be multiplayer. Man, all I'm gonna say is if you're going to name a game Modern Warfare after the greatest game, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, then you best make it like it was. You give me a great single player game or a single player story. Maybe throw in some co-op.
There is a
one
co-op
wants
mode.
that anymore, chicken.
There's going to be a co-op mode. It was in one of the articles.
Well, then yes, give me a co-op mode. Give me good multiplayer. Give me multiplayer that I have to unlock stuff in. You could put your microtransactions, but make it cosmetic for your fucking people, and then that's it. Leave it alone. Don't bloat it more than it has to be. Don't make it a battle royale. Just make it simple, like Call of Duty 4 was. Good single player, good multiplayer. There you go.
Yeah, it
go.
says
That's all you
as
have
far
to
as
do.
the co-op goes, it says there's a co-op mode. The single player story goes directly into the co-op storyline. No stop. The events just continue. So, yes, there is a co-op mode that you can
That
play.
could be close to the way it was with Call of Duty, with Modern Warfare 2, which was I played through that co-op several times with friends. It was really fun. It was just you and one other person. It was only 2 people that you had to that were in the co-op, which I think is enough when you're doing like a game like this where you're supposed to be some badass
for
soldier. To where it's you and a friend and you go in and play, and then you're not trying to find 2 other friends. You're not having to worry about any type of matchmaking shit set up either, and you can just go through and play. So this, I'm interested to see what they do with this. I mean, we're a week away from E3, where you're going to have something that's going to be revealed. They need to give me a whole lot more than they've given me recently. I actually liked a lot of the gameplay with Black Ops 4. I just think that it was poorly executed. There were certain modes that were really, really nice, and there's still a lot of people that play it. But I think that's your multiplayer. In this, you keep a little bit of multiplayer on the back end of it. And I like the idea of not having a season pass for this and just try to build Black Ops 4 by making a better game. So we'll just have to see. But I
do
like.
wonder, how do you feel about the crossplay?
If
mean,
you
an
put
FPS with
PC,
crossplay.
if you put PC in there, it's going to be a mistake unless you do exactly like Sea of Thieves does and break it apart. Like, these companies need to understand it is simple, skill based. Mouse and keyboard better than controller. Period. If you put all of them together.
I was going to say, did you read down in some of the comments? Somebody had mentioned, like, there were a lot of people discussing this exact thing, which is kind of why I asked. But somebody had actually mentioned the second place player in an Apex tournament was actually a controller player on PC. And they placed second in the tournament against the mouse and keyboard crowd. So, I mean, it's not like you can't hold your own with a controller. It's just a little more difficult.
Was there aim assist on it? I need to know all the rules for it then.
I'm gonna guess since they were
should-
playing on PC, probably not, because most of the FPS on PC have aim assist turned off, and there's not an option to turn it on. I mean, I play with a controller on Overwatch, and there's not even an option to be like, I'm playing with a controller. Can I turn on aim assist? They're like, no, you're playing on PC. Learn. I'm like, okay, fine, I will. Thanks. I like this. And some people are talking about how mouse and keyboard don't give you as much of an advantage as they used to because of how responsive a lot of the controls can be now on a controller.
I can see that. I could also see that.
I still feel like they have an advantage.
If you're playing high enough, it's a conversation that I had with somebody when playing Rage 2. He said, everything that you're doing looks so smooth. What are you doing? He said, are you playing on mouse and keyboard? I said, no, I'm actually playing on an Xbox right now on the controller, but I upped all of my sensitivities. I actually want to move it even further up. And he asked me why, and it's real simple. The only way you're going to compete against a mouse and keyboard is to raise all of your sensitivities to be able to, because they can, with the fact that the way modern mice work now, you can actually increase what the sensitivity of that mouse is and everything else right at the mouse. because of the way the programs are set. So it doesn't surprise me that somebody's able to do it, but I would love to see what their sensitivity is set at if they came into second place, because it's got to be insane to try to play against a mouse and keyboard and be able to do it. I mean, I know you play high sensitivity when you're doing Overwatch, Grif, so it's like, it just got to be, once you get used to it, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but, I mean, props to that dude for being able to do it.
In my opinion, it will never be close. Like, mouse and keyboard, if you put two similarly skilled, like the best PC player versus the best console player, the best PC player will come out ahead 100 times out of 100. That is my stance on it. 100 times out of 100, if you put the best console player, best controller player against the best PC player.
I don't think
Like
I don't think it's going to be 100%. I think that 'cause some of that's going to come down to situational
I
things.
could see 75-25, but I could not see 100.
I mean, I
No,
could
I
see
do not.
majority, but I don't think hands down a PC player is always going to beat a
Yeah,
console
you
player.
take a pro CS:GO player, and there's no way anybody who plays anything on console could beat a pro CS:GO player.
Well, I mean,
Like, those people are
but-
unbelievable.
But the game mechanics are different too, and they're not built for that. Where, you know, you're looking at some of the modern shooters and stuff, the way they're set up to be able to be played on both. To where CS:GO was distinctly set up,
PC.
it was set up to be PC. I mean, they had console versions of it too.
Exactly. Yeah, but if you take the professionals on those two scenes, PC will beat them every time.
Well, I
Overwatch,
mean, but,
they'll beat them every time too, because there is no professional Overwatch player that uses a controller.
Yet.
That you just
I
can't.
kinda-
I mean, maybe
She's
you
got that in there.
could for certain heroes like Winston. You could do that because you don't have to aim very well. But I mean, without aim assist in Overwatch for controllers, you're at a disadvantage. And Griff knows that too, because sometimes heroes are a little harder to track without that aim assist. Because Tracer just
Yeah, but it
zooms
doesn't
around
mean that
you.
I've never gotten a headshot with somebody like a Widow or a Hanzo or a McCree.
You have,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But if you put that into a professional setting, the other guy's going to outmaneuver you every time.
I mean,
yeah, but we've talked about this before too. I mean, I don't disagree the fact that mouse keyboard and is going to be the more superior if you're looking at two people that are comparable with their device. But I will say that there's no way it's 100 out of 100 because here's a great shot for you. We'll use the heavyweight championship last night where you had a guy that was a chubby looking dude that loves Snickers that doesn't look like he should beat anything against a guy that looks like if you put a toga on him, looks like he should be in marble somewhere. And he got his ass handed to him because the guy's a smarter fighter than the other dude was. So if you're a smarter player and maybe you are playing with the controller, but you're smarter than the guy with the mouse and keyboard, no matter how good either one of them is, you're going to get some wins in.
But
you always have a possibility of having
You're
wins.
changing rules. Like if we played like with a set rule base without any of the being able to use tricks or things like that, because I mean I was watching a
But
Smart
that's
says
not- that's not
tactics.
what- yeah,
Tactics
that's
is
a skill.
intelligence.
That's part of the
Yeah,
skill of it. Is
but I'm talking
adapting
about
to how
base.
you play and how to beat the other person. I mean, if you're gonna do that, then you might as well just set them up on a shooting range and see how it goes that way. Which then they
Exactly.
would
That's
just
what
be
I'm-
evenly matched because both of them can take the same amount of time and shoot the same amount of targets.
You have two individuals.
Look, you're just
one
not
control-
gonna win this.
No.
You're not going to win this. I'm sorry, but even PC players and all the comments in there too were saying the exact same thing. Controller is not going to win.
That's fine.
Controller beat a bunch of people playing mouse and keyboard. He just happened to get second instead of first. Right? Did you not say it was second
next
place?
week's new on the show, controller's going to beat a PC player.
I will find that. I will go and look up that entire tournament, and I will see what the competition was actually like. Because if it was one of those small little tournaments that none of the professional Apex players went to,
That
then
doesn't
that's
mean
probably
that just 'cause they're
why.
not pros, they don't have any skill either. That's discounting a whole lot of things.
But you're not
I mean,
taking the
but
top tier.
But hold on. We'll say this whole argument. Let's say you got third in the tournament. You got beat by a guy with a controller. What would your mentality be? I wasn't good enough to beat the guy with the controller because evidently he must be better at controller than I am, or the
I'm
fact that that
uber
guy was
bad.
skilled enough to be able to do it.
I'm
Huh?
uber bad. Like that is my mentality. If I lose to someone with a controller on PC, is I
So
am
it's your
extra
personal
bad.
problem. It's just the fact that he
Okay,
has to be proficient at it.
So what you're saying is, me as somebody that plays with a controller on Overwatch, alongside you, by the way, games in which I have come out with a better KD ratio than you, or Red, or Baka. It's because you guys are uber bad and the other team is uber bad. It's not because
And
I'm
you just
okay.
play better.
But it's a given day.
So I'm
She's playing
garbage because I'm playing with a controller. Like, inherently, on PC, I'm just garbage. It's just that everybody else is a little more garbage than me right then. Like, is that what you're saying?
When we did the ranking stuff, you came out in the 1800s, which was below middle of the pack, and the rest of us came out middle of the pack or above.
So
but how many people below
garbage.
her 1800?
How many people were
a mouse and keyboard
in silver? How many people in bronze are playing mouse and keyboard and have been playing the game just as long as I have? I'm still better than them. Like, what you're saying is just because I play with a mouse or a controller, I'm still bad. It's just that sometimes other people are worse than me. I'm not good at any point.
Okay, if you had the same skill and you used mouse and keyboard, you would easily be far above where you are currently.
We're gonna have to move on because I'm gonna walk away in a minute.
Yeah, she's gonna get irate. All right.
I mean, Baka's not even helping me here, and he's on the same side.
No.
Now he knows better. He knows better on this one. All right. Speaking of PC, currently Microsoft has announced that their Xbox Game Pass is going to be moved. Well, they're going to have a PC version of it. It is, of course, right now, if you have the Game Pass, it's currently on the Xbox. Some of the games that are already to where you can play anywhere, you can download to your PC. But what they're wanting to be able to do is have a Game Pass specifically for PC. So this is them now getting on the online store for PC, and you're going to have that same Netflix style service that Xbox currently has. On top of that, it looks like we have a strong possibility of some more Microsoft games outside of Halo being moved over to Steam. Which I think is amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing that they're looking at doing that. One of which is mentioned is Gears of War, and I want Grif to say exactly the same thing that she said to me the other day that made me giggle to no end. Please say this. Please say it.
I just want everybody to understand how much irony it is that Gears of War might end up on the Steam store being a game that's made by Epic. Because Microsoft doesn't want it to be on just the Epic store. Like, Microsoft throwing shade now. Epic, get your shit together. But Microsoft owns that property. They're going to put one of your games that you would hoard away, if you could, onto Steam.
I think the only thing that would make that completely better is, because Cliffy B originally helped make that with Epic, right?
Well, yeah, he was in charge of Epic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So if Cliffy B ran the trailer for the actual, like they just brought him in, ran the trailer, and did it, that would make the only thing that was even better at the end of it. To have him go ahead and be the one that's like narrating a trailer or something for it coming over to Steam, or make the announcement. So E3, anything could happen, right? I mean, it would be kind of funny. At the end of the day, I mean, it's not like he's doing anything right now anyway. He's retired, so
he's doing Broadway stuff. Like he's producing a Broadway musical or off-Broadway kind of thing. Weird.
Which is very
I follow him on Instagram.
That was the eared swap over, but yeah, it is what it is. But I'm excited about this. For the PC gamers, is this something you're interested in? Now that you know that it's going to be moved over to PC and it's going to be that Netflix style to where you're paying $10 a month or whatever it is. Is this something that you're interested in doing?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm interested to see which games they end up bringing over to it, because supposedly they're separate. So if you wanted the PC version of it, it's the PC version. If you wanted the Xbox version, the Xbox version, other than the Play Anywhere games.
Right.
So I'm very interested to see which games extra they're bringing in that wouldn't be Xbox games. Like traditionally
third-party games, you mean?
Yeah,
basically?
like traditionally Xbox games, what games would those be? And are they going to... because you can't really go the Epic route because you don't sell those games. You're using them like Netflix, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like an exclusivity thing.
Mm-hmm. So it would be, I think, interesting to see. But I think that's a cool announcement from them. One of my favorite statements on this was Phil Spencer saying, we believe you should have a choice in where you buy your PC games. That says a lot, because most of us that are gamers believe the same way too. It's those that don't understand what's going on with Epic and what they're doing, how bad it is for the community, I think that becomes an issue. But, you know, if I'm going to... I guess we've been playing Epic games for a while on consoles anyway. So now if we're going to move over to PC, hopefully it's on a format we can actually play on. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Big news for those people that have been waiting on Kojima's newest game. We got Death Stranding is going to be out this year. Looks like it's going to be in November the 8th.
Yay.
And I was not really excited for this game until I saw this trailer, and I'm actually excited because there's a 75 million foot ladder that you can put anywhere.
New technology, it's going to change the world.
Right? It's ridiculous. The game looks so creepy. Like, babies should not be creepy. They do a really good job. They make babies really creepy in this.
Well, there's the baby doll that's actually just a doll. Those are always creepy. Always.
With the little blinky one eye.
100% always creepy.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of interested in this now that I've watched this trailer. It will be one of those, I will watch some gameplay when it comes out and make a decision if I want to buy afterwards, because I've never been a big fan, other than some of the early Metal Gear stuff. I've never been a big fan of that game style, and so I want to see what the difference is, the change. It might be where I'm just watching somebody else play it and go through that way.
For me, I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like, part of me wants it to be really successful, because I would like companies to understand that if they would let their creatives create, they can do something really amazing. So part of me wants this to be just like astoundingly good, because I want that kind of acknowledgement of Kojima's always been good, but he could have been better with Konami if Konami would loosen the reins a little. But at the same time, I also know Kojima's a little extreme, a little weird now and then, and I'm afraid that it's going to be an interesting concept with a less than coherent plot. Because it's going to be so abstract, because he's thinking of it abstractly and he knows where it's going, but it doesn't always translate when artists are trying to show other people what they were doing with it. So I'm worried a little bit, but I want it to be good, not because it's Kojima, but because I want it to be something that somebody who was passionate about their project was able to make without a company lording over them going, more monetization, change these things, this does not appeal to people. Like, stop it. Let them do it. But I'm afraid it's going to be weird because it's Kojima.
A good possibility, because it's going to already looks weird. You have babies in bubbles.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with the weird, the whole like weirdness of that and everything. I just want the story to make sense and the weirdness to fit within the confines of the story, and not just be weird for weird's sake because Kojima's weird, you know?
There was this kind of, I don't know, quirky part of Metal Gear that was almost too humorous for the seriousness that you had going on. That's what I don't want in this.
Yeah, I felt that the little bit that I did play of the one Metal Gear game that I've played, you definitely got that, where it's like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take this, it has tones of serious, but then you throw in like he's riding a unicorn. So I don't know exactly how serious I'm supposed to be taking this. Are we going Saints Row with this, or like I need you to pick a direction.
Which one did you write? Unicorn?
I don't remember if it was actually a unicorn. I think in my brain I wanted it to be a unicorn. It was a horse though. You definitely rode a horse through the forest.
The latest one. The latest one you could ride a horse.
Maybe it was that one. I can't remember.
You played 5. Five's the one you played.
Okay, I don't even know anymore.
5's the one you played because
I broke out of a
Troy
hospital,
Baker's in it.
And then I started doing things in the desert, I think.
Yeah, Troy Baker was in it. That's the reason you... Right?
I mean, Troy Baker's in this one too, so...
And it looks like Troy Baker.
It does. His character looks like a bad guy, and I'm kind of interested in that. I want to see
it's
what kind of bad guy we're dealing with here.
yeah. The acting group that they have in there is like astounding. Like I think it's pretty awesome that they've got the amount of people in there that they do, and it looks like each one of the actors and actresses. So I think that's pretty neat too. So it's very movie like. So that's the reason I don't want the quirkiness. I want it to be, because I feel like...
Well, I feel like you're setting it up to be very serious. And if you start just being like, look at these babies. And then there's like a scene where Norman Reedus is like juggling 3 bridge babies and being like, look at me, you guys. Ah, you know, like, no. Well, maybe
that's
not
kind of in poor taste anyway.
I mean, I assume they don't really look at these babies as actual humans anyway. It's just like a means to an end. But... Mm-hmm. I just, how weird are we gonna get with it? How many naked ladies are we gonna have that are naked because they have to breathe through their skin or something stupid?
Right. True. I would agree with that. So if anybody else is interested in it, November the 8th is what you're looking at currently right now. You won't see that one at E3 because, well, PS4 is not going to be there. Sony's not going to be there. So you're not gonna have
I've seen a lot of people talking about some of the stuff that happened this week, like the big Death Stranding thing and all that, being the way, like Sony's way of beating E3 to the punch and showing them that they didn't have to go to E3, they could just release their own. And I kind of have mixed feelings on that. I mean, I think that's a little silly. And I think that you have to understand they're all still companies, and part of the reason that, you know, Sony's not going to E3 is not because they're making some big giant stand about how they're better than everybody and they don't have to. It's more about they want to put those funds towards maybe PSX at the end of the year or something like that, or they don't have enough to show at the show to justify being there. So
I wonder how much of, like, when it comes to Sony, how much it comes down to, if you remember when PS4 first was released, they had huge financial issues in the company itself of Sony. We knew the gaming industry part of it was fine. They had no issues on that side of it. But when it came to their television, their TVs they were trying to sell, their electronics they were trying to sell, other parts of their industry was losing money.
Right.
And it almost makes me wonder how far have they gone to pay off some of that debt, maybe. And that's the reason that now they're looking at still cutting cost, even though they're still making a lot of money off PS4. Plus, they're putting money into making the PS5, which we already know about. Like how much of that information is going to go. I'm wondering if some of that it has to do with that, because they went from, it was like $1.5 billion or something. That was a ridiculous amount that they had lost, and then they had to make that up somewhere.
I think that if they were trying to do this as a cost-saving feature for debt purposes, they probably wouldn't have put up the show they did last year, because that was expensive. They recreated a whole, barn interior for The Last of Us, talk and everything, and then moved people through to, like, separate venues and brought in all of these special things. Like, if they were doing it for cost-saving, I think they would have cut that cost last year, too. I think
maybe.
I think really
but
it's lack of content.
I look at them cutting costs, the 3 people sitting behind a desk and trying to announce on what was going on is cutting costs, in my opinion. I mean, otherwise they would have had a person that was out there the entire time.
But I mean, cutting costs would have been having the person out there the whole time, because they spent money on having the external desk and 3 people to sit at it to narrate what was happening as people moved through and as
but normally they had
out.
10 giant movie screens behind the person talking that cost a ton of money too. So I don't know which one would cost more or cost less, but
I think recreating the whole barn thing for 15 minutes was a severe waste of funds.
Oh, extremely.
Because that's expensive. That's definitely expensive.
And it would have been, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, I don't think, if the Last of Us 2 had come out this past year. If you did E3 in June and then like November or something, you had released The Last of Us 2 to make up the cost that way. But we still don't have Last of Us 2, and you were announcing it then, and now we're not getting any type of information on it right now.
It's in like final stages of production. So
I think it's predicted for like September or something, right? Maybe. Like one's in September, and then Kojima's is in November 8th. So
maybe. I just feel like Sony's doesn't have anything to show. And it would be a waste of time for them to come and show us things we've already seen.
Yeah, I would agree with that. so they don't have a whole lot going on. Speaking of things that they don't have a whole lot going on, but for some reason we're getting a remastered version of Ghostbusters,
From
the video game.
2009.
This game was good.
I mean,
I don't disagree.
it
You
wasn't-
had the
I
original
enjoyed it.
cast.
I don't think it was good,
Yeah.
but it wasn't bad. I think
Wow,
it was
I thought it was
definitely-
good. It was very enjoyable.
I would call it
enjoyed
good. I wouldn't call it
like
great.
I like the fact they've got the original actors to at least come back and do the voices.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's arguably one of the best Ghostbusters video games, but I wouldn't say that.
My problem
inherently
is that
makes
it's
it.
probably going to be an Xbox or Epic Store exclusive.
Yep, I would agree with that.
So
It's
no
exciting,
matter how
and
much you
then
like
it's
it, you
not.
shouldn't buy it.
Why'd you ruin it, Chicken?
Sorry. Might as well ruin it now than later.
But it is coming out on the major consoles, and I don't understand why we needed the remaster of this, though. Like, I like the game. I've played it. I enjoy it. I've actually played it a couple times. I enjoy the game. I just don't understand why we needed a remaster version of the game. Like, it's not like, hey, here's the Halo Master Chief Collection. Awesome. Looking through it, and then you also have the, some of the other games that come out, the Uncharted series, stuff like that, they got remastered. I get that because those are considered kind of, epic-style games, like just bigger than life games, and ones when you want to carry on and can continue to remaster but I don't understand it with the Ghostbuster game, unless they're maybe promoting and there's going to be an announcement for a new Ghostbuster game, and so this is kind of pushing that way, and maybe you do have 3 of the original cast that are still alive, and then have somebody play the voice of Harold Ramis's character Egon, or something like that. But it'll be very interesting to see how this goes over, because I feel like you're spending a lot of money on remastering, but it is going on Switch, so if anybody wants to play it on Switch, you could do that.
Take it with you. Take it on the go.
That's
Ghostbusters
right.
on the go.
For real. But it was. I mean, I thought it was a pretty decent game, but Grif did not think so. That's okay.
I thought it was kind of okay.
Well, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
It's all right. We all get to play games that we like and ones we don't,
I
so
know.
it works out good, right? It works out really good. We talked about. I don't remember if it was last week or the week before. We were talking about the WHO coming out with a psychological disorder that they are calling gaming disorder, to where do you have an addiction, basically? Do you have an addiction to gaming? Well, somebody has come up with a test for that, and you can actually, let me make sure that I tell everybody, you can actually go to doiplaytoomuchvideogames.com, but there's hyphens in between each one of the words other than video games, so just keep that in mind. And you can take the test yourself. We'll have it in our Discord, of course, as usual. Chicken, you've already taken the test. I'm taking it now.
Mm-hmm.
How did yours end up?
I can actually pull mine up because I have it saved just in case I wanted to look at it again. It basically from a 5 to 20. 5 is 5 or more indicates higher tendencies towards gaming disorder, and I landed at 6. So, and I'm willing to agree with that too, because I do have a high tendency of playing a lot of video games.
So is 20 like you're full blown, or is 1 you're full blown?
20 is your fucking full blown. Like you neglect every other aspect of your life entirely because you play video games only, or your social media. Pretty much you are extremely addicted to the internet and you cannot focus on anything but.
Okay, so
that.
10 would be middle of the road technically.
Yeah, 10 would be, you should probably try to find some help because you do tend to waste a lot of time moving towards it. Like 5 is like, okay, good, you got a healthy balance, you probably play a lot of video games, but you have you don't let them overtake anything else that's important. And this thing is not loading up. It's not going to show me my
and you might not remember the answer to this question, but one of the questions we were looking at, and it was when y'all were resetting your computers earlier, so I was talking to Baka about it, but one of the questions it asked is, are you a professional gamer? And or do you make money playing video games? Is what it was. I.e., a professional gamer that games in some way. And then, if you answered no to that question, the next question that would pop down is, do you plan on making money playing video games?
I said no and then yes.
Okay, I did the same thing. So that's what I was gonna ask you, because I feel streaming would qualify for that,
Yes.
and it also puts you in a different market than somebody who would put no, and maybe have the same exact answers that you did.
Exactly.
For everything
like I
else,
went no
right?
and yes. Like I do a lot of like I'm looking for this to be something more than just playing video games.
Right.
But all the other like social aspects, I can't. It's not pulling up for me right now. But all the other, because it gives you two big ass graphs compared to the average, and one of them was it completely explains me. It's like 38 out of 40 of keeping calm when you play video games. Like they don't really affect you. You don't get mad whenever you're not playing or anything like that. There's a certain woman over there that's like, what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
But
Just
yeah,
when I was
like,
reading the questions to her, she was like, "Always must win."
Are you competitive? I will crush you. Is that an answer? Is there a write-in section?
No. But
But
there's
see,
a
I
lot
don't
of
see
good
that as
questions.
I don't see that as an addiction issue.
Well, that's
though.
that's not the addiction part. That's the personality part. Like,
Oh, I got it.
Hey, it pulled up. Okay, so the gaming motives. There's a gaming motives graph and a personality graph. My motives are pretty much for playing games are pretty much almost maxed out in everything. Social motivate. I play games because of social. I play games to escape. I play games to be competitive. I use them as coping motivation. I use them to develop my skills. I use them for my fantasies, and I use them for recreation. Like I use video games to fill all of those aspects in my life, which is what video games are to me. Like they are pretty much my main medium for entertainment.
And to be fair, other than the skills aspect, based on everything you said, I believe you could say the same thing for somebody to watches TV or movies.
Yes, exactly. Like,
Right?
do you just solely? Well, yeah, I was gonna say skill development. I don't know, but yeah, for everything
I mean,
else,
other than that one, everything else you could just insert the word movie or TV
except
to
for
where you
maybe the
use it as a
social-
coping.
Except for the
well, maybe not
'cause
social.
It's
Maybe
more
not
of a
social.
solitary kind of thing. But yeah, for the
I
most
guess
part,
maybe YouTube would.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. But yeah, it's kind of like any kind of entertainment. This could help fall under because it shares a lot of similarities. Like you watch movies because you're just trying to escape, leave your head, and things like that. Like yeah, you can use a lot of that. And then the personality has 5 different traits that you can do: openness to experience, how much you're willing to. Openness reflects a degree of intellectual curiosity, creativity, and performance for novelty and variety a person has. Mine's 33 out of 50, so I like stuff. Agreeableness, emotional stability, which was what my 38 out of 40 was. I'm very stable. Conscientiousness is 26 out of 45. Tend to be reliable, have good self-discipline and self-organized, competent, aim for achievements. Yeah, I definitely belong with 26 out of 45. I have lazy tendencies, and I'd definitely be the first to admit that. I will, if I can, put things off and play games or do something else, but if I have to, I'll do it. It's just one of those things where I lack motivation. And extroversion is 17 out of 40, which explains me pretty well, too. I'm not much of an extrovert. I like to play games with my friends, but if I'm playing, something with other people, I'm willing to talk to them if we have similar interests. So I think the test is pretty good, especially if you do the long version. A lot of this stuff you can see yourself in some of the data. So
How much longer is the long version? Like I figure maybe
like
15, 20 minutes on the middle, the first part.
It's probably if you know yourself pretty well, it's probably about another 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
If you know yourself pretty well, who am I?
Well, to be fair, some of the questions I'm like, I probably should ask a friend. Some of the stuff is like one of the questions was like, do you bother people while they're trying to work? And I'm like, does that count? Like, because I got friends that work in like the service industry, and I might just go in to say hi. Does that count, or do they mean like coworkers? What do they mean? I'm confused.
That's actually a good point. Sometimes you don't know if you are bothering them or whatnot. But I do like how some of them are like, how long does it take you before you find yourself pulled back into the internet? Like, can you just put down your phone and not do anything? Or do you have a tendency to pick up your phone regularly? Like me, I turn off my data throughout the day, so I'm disconnected for most of it, and it doesn't bother me at all. But some people who are disconnected can bother them a lot because they're like,
I don't
"Oh
really
shit,
care.
I'm being left behind, or I'm not like."
That's
But that
another
kind of
thing.
stuff is what it kind of asks. To
that
gauge where
FOMO
you're at.
feeling, right? That FOMO feeling. So,
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot of people that have that fear of missing out, right? So
Exactly. That's kind of where they're, like, that's where the disorder comes from, is your fear of being left behind. Like, and that kind of what leads into depression because you feel like you're not connected and things like that. So.
And I would recommend this for anybody, even if you're a casual gamer. And if you're listening to us, and this is where you get your news. Obviously, you're not going on the internet all the time getting the news. You're getting it from us, which we appreciate. But check that out and see where you lie, because especially if maybe you don't game a lot, but you might be on the internet a lot, and see where you kind of slide into, because it does ask you about your habits, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Is it one of those where you're reacting positively or negatively based on what's happened on that social element, which I think is those were really interesting to me.
Yeah, for sure.
That those questions were being asked. And then some of the questions that they asked sound like repeats of questions that are in the same section, but they're rewording in a different way because you might think of it a different way. And so I think it's kind of neat on how it goes. I'm still not a big believer that there is a massive issue to where gaming disorder needs to necessarily be categorized, but it is interesting to see the line of questioning that we got going on right here. So and it's one of the it gives them enough data to where they can figure out where everybody lies, because it is based on age. It's complete, other than the fact that you have to give them your age and then whether you're male or identify as male or female. That's it.
Yeah, it's completely anonymous and whatnot. And I think it's pretty good. And if the people, because there's like a little bump down at the very end towards 20, if all of those people answered all the questions honestly, the people that are at 20 need to get help. Like, this should be like, whoa, am I really that bad? You probably are, or you're trolling. And if you are that bad, you should probably find help, because I mean, you are neglecting everything in your life if you're at 20. So don't feel bad for asking for help either. We're in a world where it's not a bad thing to ask for help these days. So we can put it in the Infinite Respawn channel, and I will put my answers in there too, so that you guys can see what mine looks like.
I'm gonna actually put the real link in here, because the link that was in our thing doesn't work right, so yeah, I'm gonna put the actual page on there. So yeah, it just make sure that it just give as much information as you can. It even asks you where you're
as
from.
Honest
so
too.
You don't have to be from the United States. In fact, as many people as possible answer those questions and see where they're at. Just be as honest with yourself and as honest with them as you can, and so we can get the right amount of information and take care of. I just think it's a cool idea that they're doing it, and to find out if the research fits along with what they're saying it does. Yeah. So
there's a lot of people that are like a 4 that's good. They have a lot of their shit under control. And I'm right there, 6.69, and then it kind of slopes down pretty far and levels off around 8 to 10. But other than that, it's you can definitely tell there are people that are a bit more obsessive with their gaming habits than other people.
Definitely.
So just answer the questions honestly, and it's completely anonymous, so you don't have to share it or anything, but I will, because I feel like mine describes me pretty well, and I'm willing to admit my pretty bad flaws. I'm lazy.
That's more of being, I think you're talking about, I'd rather game than this. It kind of depends on how much of a procrastinator you are to start with, right? It's like, I could do that later. Let me finish this one level, which is 5 levels later.
The wife how big of a procrastinator I am.
Oh, yes.
How's those dishes doing, buddy?
Oh, they're just sitting there hanging out like me. We're all just hanging out over here.
It's accurate right now, actually, as well. So, what's that?
Yep. Pretty accurate.
I know you quite well too.
Yep.
Too funny. Too funny. Is there anything else we wanted to discuss? Because that was all the news. There was not a whole lot of news, but I think we got some good conversation.
Apparently, it's still over an hour episode, which is a little ridiculous.
I don't know. I've got to go do some Red Dead stuff. I'm just telling you now, the first video for this week, as far as Red Dead goes, which will be part 17 if you're catching up with the slate, probably the funniest video I've ever made in Red Dead so far.
Is this the one you showed me a clip of the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be promoting the shit out of this, by the way. It is so funny. Just know that
it's funny
as we've
because
said
I'm dumb. Like,
as we've said before, Grif has her moments when it comes to driving, and this includes on a horse.
I mean, it's not my when you see it, it's not my fault, okay? It's not.
You gotta leave some mystery in there.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
All I'm going to say is, sorry, Mr. Man, I'm sorry, is the funniest line ever. I want a shirt that actually says this on it.
Sorry, Mr. Man.
Sorry, Mr. Man, I'm sorry. It's too funny. It's so good. So good. Y'all have to watch it. I don't care if you watch any of the other videos around it. Just watch that one. It's perfect. I do want you to watch the other ones too, but that one's perfect. It's awesome. All right, everybody. We do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDBOtree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slineham.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure that you go to Grif's YouTube channel that we were just talking about, where she's playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So you can see the funniest episode ever known to man. Go on there. Make sure you hit her subscribe button and the little thing, the little thingy thing. Make sure you hit the bell so you get the notifications, and you know that she's posted a new one. You do 2 or 3 a week?
3.
How many you do a week?
It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday right now. Mostly because that's all I can manage during the summer. Sorry, everybody.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know when to expect them, so you got them. So perfect. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313 where you can watch Chicken stream. What's your schedule this week, bud?
We're back on the regular schedule. So
Hopefully.
Sunday, Monday,
as long as
Tuesday,
you're not working
Wednesday.
late.
Sundays will be after League is done for the day. So once it's over, then I'll stream. It's usually around 7:30, somewhere around there. As long as
Central Time.
Central Time.
For those listening. Okay, what are you playing? Are you playing more Overwatch?
Yeah, Overwatch tonight.
As long as the event's going on?
Yes.
Okay.
Until I get one of my games from GameFly, they're not giving it back.
Also, make sure you go to mixer.com/MDBOtree, where I am back on my regular schedule, mostly. I'm starting usually at 9 p.m. Eastern, playing through Rage 2. As soon as that one's done, I have no idea. But Friday, I can tell you now, Friday we'll be finishing up the Tall Tales on Sea of Thieves, which I'm absolutely excited about. So that should be pretty awesome. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
Baka.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try